welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be reviewing the Tom and Jerry collection from Etude House. Now I've got a whole bag worth of goodies from the collection to explore. So we are going to be doing that today. So if you guys want to see that, then keep on watching. First off, I do not think I have all the products in the collection for review, but we have a sufficient amount, so that's good. And from what I see here, you guys, it looks like Etude House has kind of split the color spectrum a little bit, and Tom is more on the cooler side and Jerry is more on the warmer side, which kind of makes sense if you know what I mean. So the first two that I'm holding here are the blushes. This is the Lucky Together two-tone cheek blush. We have one cool tone, we have one warm tone, as you guys can see. It looks a little something like this. Ta-da! And then we have two of these. One is the Face Blur New Year set. Another one is the Glow On Base New Year set. So depending on what your preference is, you can kind of opt between these two. And then we have the palette, of course. Now from what I know, this is an empty palette and they do have like single eyeshadows which you can kind of pop out and include them in the palette. Let's pull out some of the singles, shall we? Okay, so I have quite a few here. I did receive this collection from Etude House, just a disclaimer to you guys, but I also did receive some of the eyeshadows in another PR package that came in. So I'm just going to break down the 4 colors that I'm going to be using for an eye look, and I'm going to be testing out in front of you guys. So I'm going to quickly do that right now. I'm going to show you the shades. Okay, first off, I want to say the packaging is super cute, and like I said, if you wanted to pop them on into the palette, there is a little hole behind which you can do that. You can actually take, like, you know, one of those needles, you know, the one for sewing, and then just pop it off, and then you can include them in the palette. So that's what these are for, and I'm guessing this is kind of like a quad empty palette. And we also have the Powder Rouge. Now these ones we have in 4 shades, which I will list it down in the description box below. And we also have the Tattoo Tint as well. I have actually tried a few of these from Etude House and I really like them. Very lightweight and the color lasts like super long until it's time to take them out. So I think it's a really great product, and I'm very glad that they included it in this collection. And then we have a couple of tools as well. This one is super cute. This one is like a sponge, and then this one is a brush. Although, wow, the brush looks actually really big. I don't really know what to use it for. Oh, it's a cheek brush. Okay, so the size does make sense. It's a cheek brush. But anyway, that is the total amount of products that we have here today. So I am going to be creating a look with them, you guys. And I'm super excited because I haven't actually tried anything from the Tom and Jerry collection yet. And this is my first time looking through the products with you. And I have to say, other than the packaging being super cute, the colors do look interesting, especially the eyeshadows. So I'm gonna quickly do a little makeup look, and I'll talk to you guys about the formulation while I do it as well. So yep, that one's next. So okay, you guys, I have taken out all that little plastic packaging that was kind of wrapping up these shadows, and as always, you guys know I go in with a good transition shade first. So I'm going to be picking out the only matte shade here, which is the Tom and Jerry Look at My Eyes Cafe PK016 in Thomas Cat. So this one is more on the cool tone side. It is a pastel pink, which I think is going to look pretty nice on the lid. Hopefully the pigmentation pans out. That is the one that I'm most concerned of, especially with Korean eyeshadows, but we shall see. Let's apply it on the lid. Just to let you guys know though, is that when I was like putting my brush in the pan, there is quite a bit of fallout, but as long as it's not on the lid, I think we should be okay. Oh, the color for this is really nice though. It's like a super nice blush pink. Hey, very beautiful pigmentation. The color comes on pretty well, blends out really nicely and quite quickly actually. I don't have to go over like so many times, so that I do appreciate. So for the next one, I'm gonna go in with this is cute. Look at My Eyes Jewel WH907 in Spike Bulldog. This one is more of a cool tone silver, almost white actually, but it has specks of like silver in it. So I'm gonna take my finger and apply it. It kind of has like a putty formulation. I don't know if you guys can see. So let me apply this on the whoa. Ooh. Oh, this is pretty. Oh, okay. And you know, one thing I realized about like especially Korean pressed glitter eyeshadows, it's always better if the application comes on by hand, because guys, do you see this? Whew, Okay, I'm liking this. For the bottom part, I feel like, oh, this is another glitter one. But this one is more on the warm tone shade, so I'm not sure how this one is going to look. This one has less glitter than the other one I was eyeing on. This one is like full on. It's a glitter show right here. Kind of somewhat of a similar formulation like the earlier shade, like the white one that I put on my lids. This one is in TroubleMaker, and this one is in My Love Cheese. For the bottom lid, I don't want it too overly sparkly because it's pretty heavy on the top. So I'm going to use My Love Cheese on the bottom, and then we're just going to leave it at that. Formulation wise, the shadows, mattes and shimmers, I think they blend beautifully, and formulation is buttery and I like it. It shows on the lid and it goes with my outfit, so that's great. Now, personal preferences, you guys, in terms of the formulation of the shadows, if I had to pick one which I liked better, I have to say I'm more for the glitter pigments in this one because this is just beautiful. Very quickly, I'm just going to put on my lashes and I'll be right back and show you guys what's next in the collection. Okay guys, so my lashes are on and it's all good. And in terms, I've also swatched the 3 shades that I've utilized on my eyes. The formulation for the single eyeshadows from Etude House somehow perform better in my opinion rather than the palettes. This is what I personally experienced. In terms to this formulation, I remember telling you guys that it was like a little bit of like a putty kind of formula, and I find like with those kind of formula, it kind of sticks better to the eyes as opposed to just straight out glitter. So this is something which I really appreciate, and it looks like a very wet look. Oh my god, Etude House, oh, so good. Okay, so now we're down to the lipstick shades, and I'm kind of debating on whether I should use the powder rouge or whether I should use the lip tint. So I'm just going to quickly swatch it at the back of my hand. Oh, wow, wow, wow. I really like this color. So this is the shade in Run Tom. Super cute, super pretty. And I actually think it might go with this. So this one I think is in a more cool tone shade. Oh, this is matte. So depending on the formulation, which one I would prefer, I think let's go with the cool tone shade just to keep up with all of this. So I'm going to be applying on the powder rouge. The applicator for this is a little bit different, not your typical doe foot applicator. It's just a straight out like blunt kind of like a felted tip applicator. I'm going to apply this on the lips, and it is a little bit drying. I'm not going to lie to you guys. 1 second though. Okay, so this is how the shade looks like on my lips, and in terms of the formulation, you guys, it is very like a soft matte. You definitely feel that like plush formulation, which is kind of nice, quite comforting actually. I have to say, in terms of the formulation for this is not my absolute favorite. I still prefer lip tints from Etude House. I feel like the formulation for that is a little bit lighter and it glides on the lips beautifully. This one definitely takes some time getting used to, and I personally did not really prefer the applicator. I like something that's a little bit more sharper with the tip, just for precision. The color is beautiful, by the way, don't get me wrong. It's just that the formulation might need a little bit of time to get used to. Okay, so let's give a go at the blushers, you guys. I am going to be taking the cool tone one, and this one is in Tom, obviously. Okay, so when you open it up, it looks a little something like this. Mixing it up. Okay, so the pigmentation for this is not very strong. It kind of gives a very slight wash of color, which is quite nice. On my skin tone anyway, I need to layer on the color for it to be a little bit more visible. So I went over like maybe 3 times, and then the color came out, and it looks a little something like this. I did a little bit of a lip change because I wanted to see how this formulation worked out, and it is so pretty, and I find that it suits a little bit more better than the last one that we tried, which was the powder rouge. I feel like it's lighter, softer, and it kind of works with the whole look, even though it is a little bit on the warm tone side, but it's okay, we're good. So anyway, I did manage to try out the tools earlier. For this one, we have the little Jerry's Cheese Puff, super cute concept, you guys. And while this one is not as soft as the Beauty Blender, maybe that's a good thing, because for powder formulations, it's going to work perfectly. And also, maybe when you put on the foundation, it's not going to grab too much of the product, which a lot of the times, a lot of the blenders do. So I kind of like that it's a little bit more denser than most, and I also like that it's in the shape of a cheese. Super cute, kind of gimmicky, but cute nonetheless. So I didn't manage to try this brush with the blush, but I think I'm gonna layer on a little bit more because I'm kind of liking the wash of color that I am seeing right now, and it gives a kind of sheen to the cheek which I didn't see earlier, which is actually quite nice. I feel like this is the kind of shade that grows on you, and with this look it pairs off really nicely. So I'm gonna see how much product it grabs, and I'm going to build. I don't know if you guys can see that, but okay, it actually applies on a little bit better with this brush, but maybe because I layered it on as well, so maybe that's it. But other than that, you guys, the brush is actually pretty decent. I'm very surprised with this. I'm not usually used to this kind of brushes for blush. Instead, I'm kind of more of the angled tip kind of girl, so you know, slightly different preferences, but this one actually did pretty well. So I didn't show you guys these sets. I already have this one open ready to go for you guys, but I think this is just the repackage of their primers. This is the Glow On Oil Volume Base, so you get this one in this set, and you also get a Glow On Hydra Base as well. So you have a full size and a mini. We also have the face blur, which is the full sized one of this. So this one is for smoothing. I've actually used this. This is actually pretty nice. And we also have a blurring powder with this set. So both of these come together, and there you have it, the two sets. So in terms of the price points, you guys, I'll put it all in the description box below. But in terms to the products that I did like out of this collection, I have to say I'm a big fan of this because I don't like my puffs to be too soft. I actually prefer them a little bit more on the dense side, so this is great. I think the sets are very worthwhile because you get a full-size primer, whether you have the glow-on type or the face blur type. Either way, I think it is a definite value. And in terms to a single shadows, I think the formulation is wonderful. I absolutely love this. You guys know that this was my favorite shade out of all of it, and I think the concept is pretty cool in terms that you can, you know, take out the shadow, put everything in one palette, and then take it with you on the go. That is really great. And surprisingly, I also liked the blush. I think the color definitely grew on me, and after a few layers I saw like the sheen, and while it's buildable on my skin tone, I do think that on fairer skin tones it's going to look absolutely beautiful, and it's going to look very fresh and healthy if you're into that kind of look, very Korean-ish. Now personally for this is going to be based on preference. Because I have dry skin, I didn't really fancy the formulation. It was a little bit too dry for me, but while the formulation might not have worked for me, it might have worked for you. You know, it depends on preferences. But you guys, the colors on these were beautiful, by the way. Honestly, it's just that the formulation was not exactly to my preference, so that's that. But I did like the lip tint. Ooh, the lip tint, it's so pretty, and you can kind of soften it, gradient it however you want, and it's gonna last a really long time. Plus, the most important thing is that it sits comfortably on your lips, and I think that is the takeaway from what I got from the lip tint. And I have to say, Etude House definitely hit a home run with this. This is a fantastic collection, and you know, in terms of everything that they've put out, I really have enjoyed the collection, and I really like what I'm seeing on my face. So that is that, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. And if you have any questions, of course, please let me know in the comment section below. But in the meantime, you guys, that is basically it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!